first of all, I want to say this is a fantastic film. My God, this was a great movie. I gotta start with the two of you have a unique job with this film, and you kind of have to find some connection in sync. Was that difficult? How did you approach that? Starting with, I guess, Andrea. Let's start with you.
It took years. It took years, and it wasn't. It didn't sort of start externally. I think it started more psychologically. The conversations, and we were both of us attached to this. Chris was attached to this first, and then I, shortly after, and we were both attached to it for a year and a half or 2 years before we actually made it. So we had a lot of time to, I suppose, get to know one another in a sense. Although what we were trying to achieve was far more complex, because we were trying to tell the story of an assassin who possesses somebody's physicality so entirely and perfectly that it's undetectable to those closest to her or them or whomever she's inhabiting. And then on top of that, there's an internal struggle once this human has been possessed, where the human psyche is bubbling up and attempting to fight the possession, you know, and it can get quite overwhelming.
I can imagine. Well, it's Chris, especially I think for you, because you're kind of you're having to react off of this kind of. How difficult is that for you to process as an actor?
Yeah, well, it's, again, I think, well, you have the help of everyone too, and you have the help of, like, Andrea and Brandon too, to kind of keep track of everything. But I'll just say that one thing that we didn't want to do was like kind of fall into the trap of like the audience constantly knowing that this person is being inhabited, right? Because I think then it gets a little silly at that point. So I mean, I think more the idea is to kind of trick the audience and have them forget at like in certain moments like who's coming out right now, and then only in certain specific moments you'll get glimpses of Boss, in a very clear way when no one else around Colin's character is watching. When if there's a moment of respite for Boss, then that's when, and then whenever there's anyone else around, to kind of slip back into kind of acting, as the person. So I mean, I think it's a incredibly fun exercise to kind of do day in, day out.
How is Brandon to work with? Because visually he's kind of amazing. How is he to work with as an actor? Is he super connective? Does he chime in a lot, or does he kind of let you guys step in? Sorry, I guess continue with you, Chris. I got you on screen.
Yeah, I mean, he's very specific. Like he knows the world and that's what I really appreciate. He knows exactly what he wants. But he's also not precious about even his own writing or he's very open to collaboration and that's and I think not to speak for Andrea and I, but I think he was in a sense he was lucky with us, because sometimes you don't want actors input, and I get that, like sometimes it's stupid. But I think that we all had this really nice kind of open collaboration and all kind of brought things to the table, and that's what makes it kind of interesting and fun.
And Andrea, incredibly trusting. Just to say that he's Brandon's incredibly trusting, and I think he casts people because he absolutely feels that he wants to know what they can bring to it.
Well, I think specifically with you, Andrea, it's such a morally complex character, because you have a family, you have this, without giving too much away, because you cannot spoil this film. How do you find the levels of this character and finding the moral ground, whatever that moral ground she's standing on?
I think that's just something that you have to, it's the first thing that you have to sort of throw out, really. In playing we live in a world where peacekeepers hold machine guns. I think in the reality of there are many paid assassins in this world, right? And a lot of them have different job titles.
Yeah.
She's a gun for hire, and she's become so addicted to the annihilation, I think, of herself because of what she's done. And I don't think that's a consciously moral question that she's grappling with. I think when we come to Voss in this film, she is so far beyond help.
Yeah. In
the sense that she only feels alive when ultimately there's death. And she's lost so many parts of her own psychology. And she now is this, I said early on, I said to Brandon, I'm really just trying. This is when he first offered me the film, and I sort of hadn't said yes. We were just having a conversation. We were in Toronto. We were both at the Toronto Film Festival, and I said, I'm grappling to find a different job description that a different likeness other than she's exactly like an actor, except that she kills people. I mean, I tend not to assassinate people. I don't know about you.
Not in general, right?
I don't kill anyone, but and he said I wouldn't fight that. This is exactly what she is. She's this. She possesses people, inhabits them for a time, and then can become very detached from who or where she is, if at all.
Well, you guys, this is a fantastic film, and we got to wrap it up. But honestly, it's one of my favorites of the year. I was blown away by both of you and the film itself. So congratulations.
Thanks so much.
I can't pull the trigger.
I need to know what she's done to me.
He's become a danger.
Where is she? Come out or I'll do it!
Sometimes that small thought is all it takes to lose control.